Hey, good morning, everyone. So, looks like Governor Northam here in Virginia has, let me get this camera right, sorry, has declared a state of emergency, and he has banned any weapons, including sticks, bats, helmets, even defensive devices, from the Capitol grounds on Lobby Day, which is Monday the 20th, which, for those of you that don't know, ever since 2003, the Virginia Civil Defense League has had Lobby Day, which is a pro-Second Amendment day where citizens gather, typically bearing arms, exercising their Second Amendment rights and their rights under the Virginia Constitution to bear arms, and to let the legislators know that we support our gun rights and they need to as well and respect our rights. So here we have a situation where the governor is claiming, which I intend on putting in a FOIA for this shortly after this video, is claiming that there's credible threats from law enforcement that this could turn into a Charlottesville-like situation. So what we have, apparently they're going to fence off the entire Capitol. There's a fence around it, but there's already a wrought iron fence, but there's several entrance points, and they're going to narrow access down to one entrance point and apparently have metal detectors. Now, so here we have a situation where Governor Northam claims to have credible information from law enforcement that there are legitimate threats of violence. So let's disarm the peaceful demonstrators who are going to show up and stand for their Second Amendment rights in light of those threats. Now, we're not making those threats. Obviously, it's criminal to make those sort of threats, so criminals are making those threats. And those of us who still want to go and stand for our Second Amendment rights and go onto the Capitol grounds for Lobby Day, which again is a tradition since 2003 in Virginia, are going to have to go unarmed. Now, mind you, the governor he'll have a full army of armed bodyguards, including the Virginia Capitol Police and the state police. One other thing that I find ironic that some of you may not know, but you can search for this, is that, there's a lot of talk from the left about violent white nationalists. And, I'm certainly not trying to disparage every member of the Virginia Capitol Police. That is the relatively small police department that polices the Capitol grounds, which includes the governor's mansion and the legislative building, etc. And what was it? Earlier last year, there was a white supremacist was outed. Apparently, it was a Sergeant Sham. Who actually, when I was arrested on the Capitol grounds for refusing to drop my sign, I was peacefully holding a sign, refused to drop it. He was the supervising officer, and when the arrest occurred, after I refused to drop the sign, he actually was jacking up my arm behind my back. So I don't find it hard to believe that this guy is an extremist, because he did not like the nature of my sign calling out the governor for his blackface as well as his infanticidal craziness. So anyway, I just think this governor is foolish. He is escalating this situation, and he is using threats from criminals to take away our rights. This is the basic. This is their basic strategy in society as a whole. You've got a few bad apples who go out there and kill people with firearms, and the rest of us are then supposed to forfeit our firearms, which we can use as protection against these sort of fruitcakes, and that's going to make us all safer. But the governor, mind you, we all have to forfeit our firearms, our weapons, even sticks. But the governor, of course, he's going to have hundreds of armed police officers as his little personal bodyguard army there on the Capitol grounds. Well, I can tell you, this is not going to go down well. I will not be surprised when the entire Capitol is surrounded. I will not be surprised when basically those security, or that security gate that we'll have a metal detector up, that patriots will peacefully ignore that and walk right through it, remove it. And I certainly hope that oath-keeping law enforcement officers will not take action against good Americans and good Virginians who are simply trying to peacefully exercise their right to free expression as well as to keep and bear arms. So anyways, wanted to keep you guys updated. This thing just keeps heating up because we have a jackass as a governor who thinks he can strong-arm us patriots out of our rights, and it's just not going to end well. And, you know, the tighter you clamp down, Governor Northam, the more dangerous the situation becomes. You're going to have blood on your hands, sir, and you're a fool. You should have resigned over the blackface thing. Then you wouldn't have to deal with starting a civil war in Virginia. And sorry, I can't really read the comments. I'm driving. Anyways, guys, stuff's heating up. Share my channel because I am going to be there on lobby day. And I'm going to be live streaming. I'm going to be reporting as to what's going on. And I suspect, I don't hope, but I suspect it could get ugly. And here we go with the typical leftist tyrannical gun grabber who is grabbing away our gun rights, or attempting to. I don't think it's going to be successful, because I think the good people of Virginia and America are going to defy this, and we'll find ways to defy. There's going to be 100,000 people here at least, and I think these sort of actions by the governor, they just escalate the situation, and they, I think, attract more people, and perhaps even attract more of the wrong elements. The other thing we all have to be aware of who are attending this event is agent provocateurs. We know good and darn well the left has terrorist organizations such as Antifa operating on their behalf, and you can fully expect Antifa operatives, soy boy snowflakes, to show up posing as patriots. But I've gone face to face with these little weasels on the streets, and I do believe that they'll be easy to spot as the agent provocateurs that they are. They'll be trying to start trouble, and all of us as good freedom-loving Virginians and Americans, we need to call them out on this. You take video of bad behavior on their part, and you let them know loud and clear that they are not a part of the peaceful demonstration if they decide to promote violence, I guess, which is what they do when they go to events. They promote violence. It's very foolish, I think, for these provocateurs. This is a message to you to show up to this event. You are not dealing with folks who are going to be pushed around or manipulated by you. You are dealing with a very serious bunch of patriots. People who show up on Monday for lobby day are not the sort of people to take your bullshit. So I suggest, soy boys, snowflake frauds, that you stay home that day. It could cost you severely for you to show up and attempt to do anything to disrupt our rights, or our right to peacefully demonstrate on behalf of our Second Amendment rights. It's going to be a grave mistake on your part. Mark my words, you don't want to come there starting trouble. I've seen you before. I've seen how you operate, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there with a team, and we are going to have our eyes wide open looking for people like you. And trust me, I got a nose for that. It's called intuition. And we're going to call you out, and we're going to take the appropriate actions against you. And we're going to have law enforcement officers who we know are good law enforcement officers on our side taking action against you as well. Anyways, guys, I love y'all, and I look forward to seeing you there on lobby day. Share my channel because I'll be providing coverage that day. It should be all day, starting at 8 or before 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. And again, if you are able to make it to Richmond, Virginia that day, on January the 20th, starting at 8 a.m. for the Virginia Civil Defense League Lobby Day, where we peacefully demonstrate and stand up for our Second Amendment rights, and let these wannabe tyrants know that we're not going to tolerate their gun grabbing, their registration, their bullshit red flag laws, or anything else like that. We all know that registration is nothing but the precursor to confiscation. There's no other reason why you need to know what sort of rifles we have aside from that. Anyways, guys.